There you go. So here we go. Final exam review. So number one wants me to graph f of x equals the absolute value of 5 minus x. All right, so let me get my graph ready here. Now, y'all just going to be choosing 4 different pictures on this one. But I'm actually graphing by hand. Or you can graph this on your calculator. Okay, so either way, just remember absolute value, you can find that in the math button down there. So on this one, what I would do would make the x, whatever number makes that equal 0 in there. And that's going to be my middle number. And then I'm just going to pick 4 and 6. So since 5 was what made this equal 0, it's going to be my vertex, and then I'm going to pick a point on each side. So let's put in a 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. Just remember, anything that comes out of that absolute value got to be positive. Okay? Put a 5 in there. 5 minus 5 is 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. And then if I put a 6 in there, 6 minus 5 is 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. So you're going to see some symmetry on these. So let me go 4, 1, coming over 4, go up 1. 5, 0, coming over to 5, 0. And then 6, 1. So y'all, when you're done, that should be a V. Right, 2, find the function value. You want me to find f of 0 when f of x equals x squared minus 2x plus 4. So basically, f of 0 wants me to put 0 in for my x's. So I'll have 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 4. So 0 squared is 0, minus 2 times 0 is 0, plus 4, and if I add all that together, I will get 4. All right, function or not? I just want to sort of draw my parabola like that again. So this question wants to know if this is a function or not. If it's a function, a horizontal line, a vertical line cannot intersect that graph more than once. So hand me the stick here. So notice if you run that pencil or pen across that graph, it does not intersect my graph more than one time. So this is definitely, yes, a function. We all have to be because we've been playing with these parabolas all year, right? All right, so here's the first of the big ones. They want me to solve 5x plus 5y plus z equals negative 11, 2x minus 2y minus z equals 10, and then 2x plus a y plus 3z is going to equal 11. So system of equations, I'm going to call this equation 1, 2, and 3. So my goal is to turn 3-variable system into a 2-variable system. Once I got a 2-variable system, I solve that to get the variable. So first thing I'm going to do is eliminate the z's. So I'm going to eliminate z. And to eliminate the z, I'm going to add 1 and 2 together first. So I'm doing 1 and 2 together, but notice my z's cancel. So let's see what we get. 5 plus 2 is 7x. 5 minus 2 is a positive 3y. That's going to equal a negative 1. So now we still got to eliminate the z once again, but now I got to use row 3 in either of the first 2 rows. So what I'm going to do is the last 2 equations, but notice 3z and negative z don't cancel. So what we're going to do is multiply the second row by 3. So we're going to multiply this whole row by 3 and then add the row 3, okay? So I get a 6x minus 6y minus 3z equals 30. Add that to the 2x plus y plus 3z equals 11. So notice my z's do cancel. All right, so let's see what I get. I get 8x, negative 6 and 1 is negative 5y equals 41. So now we got to use these 2 equations and start a 2 by 2 system. So bring over your 7x plus 3y equals negative 1. 8x minus 5y equals 41. All right, so on this one, I've got to change both of them rows because 7 and 8 don't cancel, 3 and 5 don't cancel. So what I'm going to do to this is multiply this row by 5 and this row by 3. That'll give me a 15y and a negative 15y that I can cancel. All right, so I get 35x plus 15y equals negative 5. 24x minus 15y equals 123. So the trickiest thing on this is having to multiply these rows to get these variables to cancel, okay? Well, let's see what I get here. I got what, 59x. The y's cancel. And then what's that? 123 minus 5 gives me 118. So I'm down to one variable. I can now solve this for the x. Divide both sides by 59. And let's see, 118 divided by 59 should give me x equals 2. So now that I know what my x is, I can come back into one of these 2 variable equations and get the y. So I'm probably going to use this one. It looks easier. So we're going to back substitute. So I'm going to use the 7x plus 3y equals negative 1. I'm going to put a 2 in for the x. So let's see, that gives me 14 plus 3y equals negative 1. Subtract 14 from both sides. 3y equals negative 15. And then I'm going to divide by 3. I get what y is a negative 5. And by the time you get to the second answer, there's only one answer going to start matching you, okay? So then, I know x is 2, y is negative 5. I can go back into one of my 3 originals and get my z. So I'm just going to back substitute into the first one. So I get 5 times x is 5 times 2 plus 5 times y, which is negative 5, plus a z equals negative 11. So let's see what we get. We get 10 here. 5 and negative 5 is a negative 25, plus z equals negative 11. And let's see, 10 and negative 25 gives me negative 15, plus z equals negative 11. And then looks like my last step is just to add my 15 to both sides. So I get z is a positive 4. Now we'll see if y'all got my programs on the calculator, y'all got my Kramer 3 program. That Kramer 3, you just put in the numbers on each row, okay? Hit enter and bam, it'll spit it out. And then some of y'all are using the matrices, I think, when I was doing those. Make sure you got that on there. Go to program and see if it's got a Kramer.
Program.
Yeah, Kramer 3, yeah, that's one.
Kramer 3.
And then you just start putting in the numbers on each row as I had them across there.
From the original.
Hey, Mr. Redfern.
So 5, 5, 1, and negative 11. I hear you.
What did you say? What program is that? I didn't see that.
If y'all got my programs downloaded, it'll be Kramer 3.
Kramer 3. Okay.
And you just put in the numbers like you would on the quad and stuff. It'll say A, you put in the 5, B, 5, C, 1, D, negative 11, and then you do the next row, it'll be A, B, C, D again. All right, if I'm skipping one, I'm gonna, some of the easier ones I'll do at the end. I want to make sure I get some of the hard ones out. This one wants me to match the inequality with the graph, so I'm gonna graph this. So I need to get the y on one side. So let's see, I'm gonna subtract 2x from both sides. So I get negative 7y is greater than negative 2x minus 1. I'm just putting my x's first because that's the y equals mx plus b. All right, now divide everybody by negative 7. I'm dividing by negative on the inequality, so I've got to turn that around and then make that a less than instead of a greater than. All right, so let's see, all these negatives are going to cancel, making everything positive. So you get a positive y less than. Oh, we're going to make that a positive 2 over 7x, and then that'll be a positive 1 over 7. Now what's nice, they've already got it graphed. But remember, that's a less than, so it's going to be a dotted line. And I'm going to shade below. Okay. So there you go. So get one ahead on that. And then it's shaded below. Remember, if you graph this on the calculator, you got to go all the way left and click enter until it shows the little triangle like that. That shapes above, and then you have a triangle like this that shapes below. You want the shade below, so you want to use the second one. This one shades above, this one shades below. So your arrow all the way left on that calculator, past the Y1, and then it starts blinking on the line that you're going to draw, okay? So I'll tell y'all what happens on this is people forget to reverse the inequality when they're solving it. And if you keep it as a greater than, it's going to give you the wrong answer, okay? All right, so I consider this next one a hard one. The ladder is resting against the wall. So here's me a wall, and we got a ladder leaning up on it. The top of the ladder touches the wall at a height of 18 feet. So they're telling me this side is 18 feet. Find the length of the ladder if the length is 6 more than its distance from the wall. So we don't know the distance from the wall. We'll make that X. And then it's telling me the ladder was 6 feet more. So that'll be X plus 6. Well, I think I fixed your test for you this morning.
Oh, did you see?
Mhm.
Okay, because there was one question where like.
There's a few on there that was,
Yeah, that was kind of.
some of them you weren't too far, but it was right answers, so I gave you those two.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so what this gives me is a right triangle, which means I can use the Pythagorean theorem that tells me a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The only stipulation is that the longest side, the hypotenuse has to be the c. So I'll let a be x, so I'm going to get x squared plus b squared, which I'll let be the 18. That's going to equal the x plus 6 squared. All right, so let's see, x squared, I can't do nothing with that. Woo, 18 times 18 is a big number, 3 something.
324.
324. That's going to equal to x plus 6 squared. Y'all remember x plus 6 squared, you got 4.
I missed the wrath on it and froze up over here.
All right, yeah, keep me going on that because it does this a lot in here now. I just got to unshare my screen and then share it back. All right. So I'm going to pull the x plus 6, so I can finish this part. So you get an x squared, 6x, plus 6x, plus 36. I'm just going to add my like terms in the middle. So I get a 12x and then my 36. I'm going to bring that down and stick on that right side. Yeah, I think I picked some on your test too. Yours was better than that. Because some of your answers, you went too far, answered too much. So. All right, so now I'm just going to solve this for the x. So I would start by trying to get these x squareds on the same side. But when you subtract x squared from both sides, it's gone. So I have 324 will equal my 12x plus 36. So when y'all do this problem on the test, it's definitely the x squares are going to cancel out on this one. All right, so let's subtract 36 and then divide by the 12. what's that gonna give me? 324 minus 36.
288.
You know, guess what? 288 will divide by that 12. So divide both sides by 12. Oh, was that 24?
24.
So 24 equals my x. But notice, the question is, how long is the ladder? So 24 was this side right here, which means the ladder you have to do 24 plus 6. So that the ladder is 30 feet, okay? So to me, that's your more challenging question of the two that I thought was most challenging was that 3 variable equation and that one, okay? And then you hit some domain, find a domain. So number 8, find a domain. We're given f of x equals x minus 3 over x squared plus 9x. So in your domains, you're only worried about the bottom of the fraction. So you're going to take the bottom of the fraction. And we said it could not equal 0. So you can use equal or not equals, it don't matter. All right, if you solve this with the quad, A would be 1, B would be 9, C would be 0. So you don't have the number at the end, it's always a 0, okay? But I'll show you, you can solve this one by factoring out the GCF, which is the x. Set both these to 0. So one answer is 0, the other answer would be the negative 9. So I'm using interval notation. So you got two numbers, so you're going to have two unions. So you start at negative infinity till you hit, first number would be negative 9. Union around that negative 9 until you hit the 0. And then union around the 0 till you hit positive infinity. So watch out, they got answers where they use the number on the top of 3 in these answers. So domain, only worry about the bottom. So I want to construct the difference quotient. And we give you the formula. Difference quotient is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So we're going to give you that on the test. The function they're giving me, f of x equals 9x squared plus 7x. So the trick is finding that f of x plus h and plugging it into the formula, because we're giving you f of x and the bottom's always h. So the trick is finding f of x plus h. So take this equation and where they got an x, you're putting an x plus h. Okay? So that'll give you 9 times x plus h squared plus 7 times x plus h. Okay, so replace both the x's with the x plus h. Now, did y'all save your x plus h squareds? So back in material from test 2 somewhere, y'all should have had, y'all even did x plus h cubed on those, okay? So let's see what we get. X plus h times x plus h, you get an x squared plus the hx plus the hx plus the h squared. So that'll give you a x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. So guaranteed, save that for your test because you're going to use this same x plus h squared on that test somewhere, okay? So now let's plug that in. That gives me 9 times x squared plus 2hx plus h squared plus my 7 times the x plus h. All right, so the last step I'm going to do is distribute everything, and then I'm going to put it into my big formula. So distribute a 9, and then distribute your 7. So 9x squared plus 18hx plus 9h squared plus 7x plus 7h. Y'all guess what? None of those are like terms. So now let's put that into our formula. So I'm going to start replacing the f of x plus h minus the f of x over h. I know f of x plus h now. I just found that. That is 9x squared plus 18hx plus 9h squared plus 7x plus 7h. Minus f of x they gave us. F of x is a 9x squared plus 7x. All this over h. So y'all, if you remember at this point, if it didn't have an h on the top, it canceled out. So this 9x squared cancels with this negative 9x squared. Oh, I had one more. Oh, my 7x canceled with the negative 7x. So all that's left is the h terms. So we got an 18hx plus 9h squared plus 7h all divided by h. All right, at this point, h's are all going to cancel. So cancel the h out of the 18hx, gives you an 18x. Cancel one h out, leaves you a 9h. And then cancel the one h out, leaves me a 7. So you can watch out because some of their answers are close, but they got squares left on them, okay? So to me, that whole problem is, getting this. If you get that and then cancel out the stuff that don't have the h's, good to go, okay? Let's see, I'm skipping to 13. Find the zeros. We're given f of x equals 2x squared plus 11x plus 3. So I'll tell you on this one, it's not going to factor, so you're going to have to use a quad formula or work it by hand using a quad. If you do the quad, A is what? 2, B is 11, C would be 3. But I'm gonna work it by hand, so that's what, negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. Next, let's see, negative b will be negative 11. B squared will be 11 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, and c, which is 3. On over 2 times a, which is 2. Right, here we go. That brings down that negative 11. All right, let's see what we got under here. 11 squared is 121. Minus 4 times 2 is 8 times 3 is what, 24? All over 4. All right, so let's see. What is 121 minus 24? That's like what, 97? All over 4. So y'all, the only way I could go further is if I could break down that 97. And I'm pretty sure 97 is a prime number, so that don't break down. So that would be my final answer. And remember, if you do this on the calculator, it's going to give you one with a plus and then the other one with a minus. But remember, you can combine them using the plus or minus, okay? So let's see, what do you got to watch out on that? And, oh, they're forgetting the 4, I guess, and making that a 115 or something. But all right, next one, find the vertex. So the vertex formula, negative b over 2a, f of negative b over 2a. So find what negative b over 2a is, put it into the function and get the y value, okay? They're giving us f of x equals 2x squared plus 12x minus 3. And it looks like on this one, if you can at least get me the negative b over 2a part, only one answer has the right order on these, okay? So a is 2, b is 12, c is negative 3. So I'm going to do that first part, negative b over 2a equals negative 12 over 2 times 2, which is what, negative 12 over 4, which gives me negative 3. Only one answer had the negative 3 for the x. So you should be good to go after you at least get the x. But for sure, the y value says f of negative b over 2x. So that means find me f of negative 3. So we got 2 times negative 3 squared plus 12 times negative 3 minus your 3. Now let's see, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 9 times 2 gives me 18. 12 times negative 3 is a negative 36 minus 3. And if you remembered on this vertex, these were always double each other in opposite in sign, these first two. So if this was 18, that was negative 36. If this was negative 18, that would have been a positive 36. Okay? So let's see, that gives me negative 18 minus 3, which is what, a negative 21. So your official vertex was negative 3, negative 21. Okay. I don't think y'all even got my vertex formula on that calculator.
So up there with the A, B, and C, that's the vertex formula on the calculator?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see, 15, find the zeros. So f of x equals 5 times x plus 8 squared times x minus 8 to the third. Oh, and these want a multiplicity too, so find the zeros and multiplicity. So one factor I can get rid of, and that's this 5. Since it don't have a variable, I don't need to worry about 5. But what I do need to do is take the ones with the variable, the x plus 8, set equal to 0, and then the x minus 8, set them equal to 0. So I need to find what numbers make them equal 0. So first, I'll subtract 8. I get x is a -8. So if you put a -8 here, that gives me a 0. On the second one, I'm going to add 8. So I get x is a +8. So remember, the actual zeros are always opposite in sign than those factors. All right, then what's multiplicity? Well, this one had a 2 sitting out there, so it's a multiplicity 2. And then the other one had an exponent 3 sitting down here, so it's a multiplicity 3. Okay. Hey, remember, if there wasn't no numbers there, it would be a 1 for the exponent, okay? All right, find vertical asymptotes. All right, let's see, they're giving me h of x equals x squared minus 100 over x minus 9, x plus 2. So once again, just like on that domain problem a while ago, when you're looking at vertical asymptotes, you're only concerned about the bottom. Okay, horizontals are the ones that looks at the top and the bottom. So we're only worried about the bottom. So set x minus 9, x plus 2 equal to 0. And then solve both of these. All right, so first one I add 9. You're gonna get x equals 9. Second one I want to subtract 2 and get x is a -2. Now, watch out, because these got to be x's, okay? They give you some answers where they put y equals 9 and y equals -2. Okay, but I don't even have a variable y here, okay? Got to be x's on those. So vertical asymptotes is the same as the domain. Look at the bottom only, set them equal to 0 and get them numbers. At least y'all ain't got to sweat it as bad because y'all ain't got to sit in front of me taking this thing, right? Sweating in here, but oh, damn, I'm stuck. Oh, 18, let's see what they want. Find the requested function value. So find the requested function value. So f of x equals -5x plus 9. G of x equals -4x squared minus 3x plus 8. They want us to find g of f of a -5. So these were the compositions. So to do the compositions, you're going to start by taking the -5 and putting it into the f. Which means we're going to find f of -5 first. Okay, so you sort of always go right to left on these, right? Put it into the F and then take that answer and put it into G. So F of -5 would be -5 times the -5 plus 9. Oh, what's that going to be? 25 plus 9, which is 34. Oh, I'm about to get a big number. So since 34 was the answer, now I take that 34 and put into the G, okay? So I'm finding G of 34. Oh, okay, that's going to be -4 times 34 squared minus 3 times 34 plus 8. Well, I'm figuring this will be negative, and I got about 3 negative answers on this one. And what is 34 times 34?
1156.
So I got -4 times 1156 minus 3 times 34 plus 8. Well, I guess it is going to be this. Looks like I got one that, let's see if we end up with a -4718, huh? All right, so all this gave me a final answer of -4,718. So click on that, put that number into the F, and then take that answer into the G. And be careful on the order. If they do F and G, then that would have reversed my equations, okay? So you got to go in order. If it's G of F, put it in the F and then the G. If it's F of G, you put it in the G and then the F, okay? All right, now the next one was doing the same thing, but they didn't give us the numbers. So 19, find the indicated composition. F of X equals -5x plus 4. G of X equals 3x plus 9. They want me to find G of F of X. So the same type problem, except they're not giving me a number. They're just giving me the X on it. Which means I'll never get a single number answer like this one had, okay? So basically, we start putting the X into the F, which is already done. So F of X equals -5x plus 4. So I'm still starting with the F, just like I did on that problem, right? We're putting the X right into the F. But the trick is, you can't do nothing to this one, can you? No, we can't do nothing to this, which means now this goes into the G. Which means I'm going to be finding G of a -5x plus 4. So that's going to be 3 times -5x plus 4 plus the 9. So when you're given just the X, all you're basically doing is taking this and putting it into that X, okay? So to simplify this, I'm going to distribute 3 times -5x is a -15x. 3 times 4 is 12. And then at the end is my plus 9. And I can go one more step, right? Because numbers will add together. So -15x, and then let's see, 12 and 9, 21. So notice, same problems, except this one I had a number, that one I didn't, okay? All right, 20 says, is it 1 to 1? If yes, find inverse. They're giving me f of x equals 6x minus 8. So I'm just going to tell y'all a little trick on this one. They're all going to be 1 to 1. So you will have to find the inverse, okay? So start with the f of x equals 6x minus 8. First step was replace the f of x with a y. So you get y equals 6x minus 8. And then if y'all remember, I switched the x and the y around. So I got x equals 6y minus h. So I'll write that right here. Switch x and y. Now, solve it for the y. So this is the one where you replace the f of x with a y, switch to x and y, solve it for the new y. So I'm going to what, add 8 to both sides? So x plus 8 equals the 6y. And then divide everybody by 6. So that sign didn't cancel when I get my y. Let's see, we can't do nothing to the x plus 8 over 6. So that's going to stay at x plus 8 over 6. And the very next step, replace this y with f inverse. Okay? And then that'll still equal what? X plus 8 over 6. Now they give you the f minus 1, x. All you got to do is figure out that right side. And do not choose the answer that says not 1 to 1, okay? All right, so let me jump up some of the stuff on this new test. Well, what were some of the memories you needed to have from those first 3 tests, okay? 22, convert to log. Log base 6 of 216 equals t. So turn it into a, oh, hold on, what was I supposed to do? Oh, hey, y'all, this is convert to exponential. My bad. I was in the thing, convert to log, I already got the log in there, right? All right, so y'all just did this on my test. The base is 6. Exponent is the t, and 6 to the t equals 216. I'm at least gonna get this last one in here before I gotta let y'all go.
How many are on the final?
25.
25.
But a lot of the ones I skip were just graphing ones y'all just gonna punch on the calculator and graph and stuff. This one was, we did birthday, the little girl's birthday and stuff with this one, but this one, all we gotta do, they're giving me a formula and we're just gonna plug in for the t. So they're giving us B equals 2,100,000 e to the 0.03 t. So they're giving you a formula. And then it says, how many people will a country have after 6 years? So how many after 6 years? So all you're going to do is replace that t with a 6.
So is that the answer? That's the answer.
Oh, I'm gonna give you, okay, so on that, if you replace the T with a 6, you should end up with B equals 2,514,156. Okay, so most of y'all's calculators will keep that exponent up there. Just remember 0.03 times 6 for your exponent, and then it should kick that out. And I would use the E here. I would use the E that would be the second LN on the left side, because it already gives you the exponent. So when you're, so that one I'll punch it in, what's that, 2,100,000. Use this little E right here with the exponent, so the second LN, and then it'd be 0.03 times 6. And punch it in, there you go.
So we put 2,100,000 E,
Mhm.
and then it's gonna be 0.03.
Uh-huh. 0.03 times 6. There you go. And then that should kick you out to what, 2,514,156?
Mhm.
All right, so sort of out of time, but y'all, that's the major gist of those. I skipped a few that all you have to do is plug them on the calculators and just graph them. And then 1 or 2 from the new test. But they weren't too bad, okay? So they didn't have no real bad logarithm equations in there. Although I could do this last one, it was an exponential equation real quick. Let me show you how quick this one will be. And y'all gotta go to a class real quick. Okay, so there you go. So this one was like 25, solve the exponential. 4 to the 10 minus 2x equals 4,096. I'm gonna tell you a trick. That's a base 4 here. I'm gonna see if this number can be written with the 4. But guess what? Since 96 divides by 4, this can be written with a 4. So I'm gonna bring down my 4 to the 10 minus 2x. And it's gonna equal 4 to some exponent. So let's see how many 4s is in a 4,096. So I'm just gonna start multiplying 4. Whoops. So 4 times 4, 16 times 4 is 64. Times 4 is 256. So y'all keeping up with that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 times already. Times 4 is 1,024. That's 5 times. Times another 4 is 4,096. So I just did 4 times 4 until I got to 4,096. So let's see, I think I did that 6 times. And then if you put in exponents, 4 to the 6th is 4,096. So this equals 4 to the 6th power. Okay. Anytime you can convert them to the same base, they're easier. And y'all remember, your 25 will convert over. So since the bases match, that means that 10 minus 2x equals 6. Subtract 10 from both sides. Negative 2x equals negative 4. And then divide by negative 2. So negative by negative makes that what, a positive 2. So if you put 2 here, 10 minus 4 is 6. 4 to the 6th is 4,096. Okay. So y'all will convert to the same base. Okay. Oh, I think I froze up on the board again. So let me share that real quick so y'all can see that last part of that. All right, y'all. So your final exam will open Wednesday morning. It will be due. I told y'all I was going to have them due by Friday, but I extended it all the way till Sunday night. So y'all got the weekend to play with this if you need it, okay? I'm still looking at y'all's test. I'm still looking at y'all's test, so if y'all did my study guide for the test 4, remember, I'm giving y'all bonus for that. So I'll throw that on top of,
So it was the bonus?
yeah,
Or you didn't create a bonus?
no, and y'all had to do that anyway, so as long as you made a 70 on that or better, I'm giving you the 5 points,
Okay.
okay?
The review on test 4?
And that'll be put on test 4, so.
Oh,
So I changed yours from whatever it was, but I didn't add the bonus yet. So you still got bonus coming, you got bonus coming. I just looked at, now just looking at the ones that y'all might have had right, but you put in wrong.
Or are you talking about the subsidized test? What is it?
Test 4 y'all just did.
Oh, okay.
You did good on it. You got a good, decent grade. Yeah. So each test had a study guide. And this is the only one where I made the study guide bonus.
Okay.
Y'all had to earn that bonus, I guess. Well, hell, the quiz was a quiz grade anyway, you know, so. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna stop my share and I'll send this out later, okay?